Hi. Are you sick of the emotional roller coaster that weight loss and weight gain and that the hold that the scale has on us as women? It holds a tight grip on our lives. I know I was sick and tired of that. And a couple years ago, I have lost 96 pounds. And it's been a time of me learning about my body and about the mentality behind of losing weight. And then I became a personal trainer to help other people. And now I write articles, and I want to help women to become and to transform into the best person that they can. So today we're going to be talking about scales and the importance of scales, but then also the detriment of the scale. We have to know that we are not a number, and you need to separate that identity of that number in your life. I know that it is a tangible way to measure, to see if you're having progress, and there's a clear path to an ending point, and that if you're doing well, you can see progress. But if we aren't doing well, or even if we are doing well and we still don't see progress, and how the frustration that can be behind that. But it's so important not to put our identity in that number or lack of movement of that number, which so many of us women can easily do. I know that I did. I would become a slave to the number, and eventually I put my scale up, and I decided not to use it anymore. And that's when probably the last 60 pounds I had gained came, when I decided to give up on myself and not try anymore. And so that's why I really want to show you that you can have that healthy relationship with the scale. So this was about a year and a half ago. I've always used an analog dial scale that we had bought from Walmart for like $4.97, and it wasn't the most accurate scale. Every time you'd step on it, it'd maybe be a pound or half a pound difference. And so I would what I'd usually do is I would step on it 3 times and then average the 3 readings out. And when I became serious again about losing weight, I ordered an actual digital scale that had the body fat readings on it, and it would track it on my phone. And I started getting nervous when I ordered it, because I knew that it would probably read my number higher than what my other scale did. So as I nervously waited, it arrived on the front step of my porch. I went out there and I opened it up, put the batteries in, took a deep breath, and I stepped on that scale. And sure enough, it weighed 10 pounds more than my dial scale. My heart sank as I inputted those numbers on my Net Diary tracking app that I had been using, and I saw my chart jump up. All these thoughts started to creep in, that I'm just a failure. See, you really haven't lost that much. And I had to go for a walk. I went for a walk, and to clear my mind in the fresh air, and it was a sunny day like this, and it really helped to think more clearly and to get fresh air. And I realized, yes, then that meant that I was actually 10 pounds. Even though I was 10 pounds more now, that means I was 10 pounds more back when I started my weight loss journey again. Whew. That blew my mind. And the realization that, again, I wasn't a number. my focus was on getting a transformation and to not attach myself to that number and to push through. And then I started realizing how much progress I have made in this last several months at that time. And normally I would have been crashing on the couch with one of those giant symphony bars with the almonds and little bits of toffee, which I love. And I could easily eat a half a bar, if not a whole bar in one sitting. Granted, I did not feel well after that, but when I was emotionally eating, I could. Or I'll grab a big bag of chips and a soda, and I could down them. And it was, granted now, I still eat those things, but I have learned to eat in moderation and to enjoy those things and when I do have them. But I started looking at the differences of years ago and now and the transformation, and I started realizing that it really isn't about that number. 10 pounds heavier, we can deal with that. But I was a different person than I was, and I am so thankful that I pushed through that time that was really hard. And I want to encourage you guys to push through. Even though the numbers say you don't like the numbers, push through and don't ignore the numbers, but push through and don't attach your identity to those numbers. And don't become a slave to that number, because you are worth more than that number. The problem with being fixed to a number is a lot of people, like I said, have their identity in those numbers. And even like they'll look at a picture of someone and compare themselves to someone that is 150 or 170. And that can become very dangerous, because everyone's bodies are so built differently with the skeletal and the muscular and how their bodies are shaped. So don't compare yourselves with other people, and I suggest to compare yourself with yourself and become a better person today than we were yesterday and the week prior and the month prior. And to embrace transformation, to really do that, we do have to embrace the bad things that happened in our weight gain periods. Something that one of the things of many things that I had to embrace about myself was all of my varicose veins that I gained during the time I was morbidly obese, and I had a sedentary life. And granted, it is part of the genetics also, but I wish I knew what it would have been like if I had never gotten 100 pounds heavier than this I am right now. So we got to recognize the bad things that have happened in our lives and embrace them. I had to forgive myself, and I had to move past and understand that I can love my body now. I take care of those veins now, and to look at how much brighter my future is because I have lost the weight. And then also we need to embrace the good things that we have done in this even if it's a week or even a day. But as you continue to push through, there's going to be a time that you're going to look back and you're going to see all the good things that you have added in your life. Like the things that I've added that I enjoy are the creative things. Like I enjoy the graphic stuff that I've been doing with the YouTube things. I really enjoy writing articles for you guys and almost like writing to myself, and what would I say to myself that was lost in the sea of weight loss information, and to help myself get past that and just take that first step, learning about the transformation I had, like the active hobbies that I started enjoying. I like pickleball. I like walking. I like going for a slow run, not very fast, but I like going for a slow run or a bike ride. I like being with my family and learning to enjoy those things again, because the weight is no longer a hindrance for me now. And there's this inner confidence that I have gained because of that. and has become my identity rather than that number on that scale. We do need to understand that there is that scale and that we can use it as a tool. I still use the scale as a tool, and I appreciate the scale. So, but to know that it's not a goal and it's not a snapshot of what's happening on the inside and in your mental health and your physical, it's more about the physical, but not the internal well-being of your soul and your mind. And to use that scale, I suggest using it every day. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I suggest when you wake up, when you go to the bathroom, step on that scale before eating or drinking anything, and so you can have a reading of what your body's doing. As a woman, I know that our bodies fluctuate a lot over the period of a month, and my body, my hormones are all over the place, and I cannot predict them at all. But I've been able to predict them way better with knowing my numbers on the scale, because I can see when I am bloated. I can see if I hadn't eaten much for salt, then I'm like, okay, I know things are happening with my hormones, and it really helps me to gauge those things. And but one thing to remember when you're using a scale every day, don't compare yourself from yesterday and even a week from today. Compare yourself from 4 weeks from today and see if there's progress, because every week there's a difference in ups and downs. And as a woman, it really needs to know, like, in 4 weeks, if you haven't moved it on the scale in 4 weeks, that is more of a plateau than just even a week. And so look on your past readings and see what changes have done in this last month. And then, of course, there's other measurements, and many of you know these things, but I gotta mention them. But measuring your circumference around your waist is really, really beneficial. You can measure around your upper arms and your thighs, also benefits you, but I think the waist is the most important number that will show you if you're making progress or not. Another thing that you can measure is with clothes. Don't use stretchy clothes, of course, but use like jeans or something that has not much give, but you can see if it's getting tighter or looser. I have a dress that has no give and has a zipper, and I can see when I'm making progress. There was like 4-inch gap when I had first bought it because I love the style of it. And so then every month or so I would try it on to see how much closer the zipper would be on it. And it was pretty motivating to see how that would change and get closer and closer and closer to the point where it was zipped up, and now it's getting a little loose on me. And even my shoe size has gotten smaller. So those are some things to look at, but we got to make sure that we understand that we are not a number, and your identity is not stuck in that number on a scale. And people will even change their metrics on their scale so that it's not in pounds but kilograms. So do what you need to do, but I know that it took me a while it is a mental battle. But you don't want to have this unhealthy obsession one way with exercise and body image and go in one direction or the other way, where I went and decided to give up the scale and forget it all, and I don't care anymore, because I really damaged my body, and I'm glad that I was able to turn it around. So I want to encourage you, break free from the scale's grip in your mind, and to know that you are worthy and you're put here on this earth with a purpose. I believe that God has made you a masterpiece, and you are a transformation in the making, and that there is so much creativity and things that you have that you can input in this world, and you are capable of transforming from the inside out. Remember, you can be vibrant today and transform for tomorrow and into the future. I'm Coach Danae from vibrantlady.life, and I'll see you around. Bye.